TV9 Digital, I'm Neha. The number of fresh coronavirus cases seems to be coming down now as compared to the previous spike that we got to witness. Although the numbers are falling, the deaths continue to rise, showing only a faint tendency of slowing down. India has been registering over 4,000 deaths for many days this month. Why is India's daily COVID-19 death rate not coming down? Is it due to delayed hospitalization or less testing, or delay in providing critical care, or something else? To get answers to these worrying questions, I spoke to public health expert Dr. Vivekananda Jha a little while ago. Welcome, Dr. Vivekananda Jha. First up, what's the science behind the falling cases and the rising deaths? What are the factors that you could point out for us?
In terms of the cause for falling cases, even though there has been no national lockdown, many states and many cities have imposed lockdowns on their own, which certainly has contributed to people staying indoors. And as we have seen, this has been going on for 3-4 weeks, which is the expected result of a lockdown, that after 3 to 4 weeks, cases will start coming down, which is what we are seeing. People have also become more sensitive to the need of masking while outdoors and along with other people, and maintaining social distancing. So that's being followed much more openly and rigorously than it was until about a couple of months ago. That has also contributed to the number of cases coming down. Finally, there is a concern that the testing may not be as much as one would like it to be. If that is the case, and I have no reason to have a view one way or the other, that could be a third reason for the number of cases coming down. Your next question was, why is the number of deaths still rising? So that's something which does puzzle many people who don't understand the behavior very well. So the deaths that we are seeing today is amongst people who were infected 2 to 3 weeks ago, if not more, even 4 weeks ago. So as you would recall, the number of cases 4 weeks ago was still rising. So it is quite natural that we might expect the deaths to continue to rise, in fact, for a few more days, even after today, until it catches up with the reduction in number of cases that started happening about a week or so now. So it is only in about 2 to 3 weeks from now that we will start seeing a consistent reduction in the number of deaths that we are seeing. We are already hearing, at least from hospitals, that there is a degree of stabilization in number of people with severe illness and people who are really sick getting to the hospitals and requiring admission. But I don't think we should expect those numbers to start coming down just because the number of new cases being diagnosed is coming down at this time.
Dr. Jha, you did mention about testing as well. So delay in testing individuals is also being attributed as one of the main reasons behind the increasing deaths. But you're saying that that's not the reason.
No, it could be. So people who had the disease, let's say 4 weeks ago, but for some reason or the other didn't get themselves tested at that time. So they would not be counted. And they would be counted only, a large proportion of them would recover and would never be listed as having had the disease and recovered. It's only those who don't recover, unfortunately, and become more sick and develop more severe illness, they eventually come to the hospital, they get tested, and then they're found to be positive. So there is a bit of a lag, and the lag is of different magnitudes. Some of it is very natural, it will happen anywhere in the world, so that there is a lag between people developing the disease and people developing severe infection and dying of it, versus a certain kind of discrepancy that we are seeing because of just this massive load that the system encountered over the last 4 weeks. And the errors that, I shouldn't say the errors, but the shortcomings of our healthcare system, which wasn't able to ramp up testing to just go ahead and test everyone who required testing.
Dr. Jha, is it about time we saw a better healthcare strategy to counter COVID-19 and ensure that we do not, see so many fatalities if we were to see the third wave of coronavirus?
Of course. Look, we need better healthcare no matter whether we have COVID or not. So that goes without saying. Irrespective of COVID, we need better healthcare. As has been pointed out a number of times during the pandemic, one of the things that this pandemic has done is to make everyone start talking about healthcare and make them aware of the need of better healthcare for the entire society, not just for ourselves and our own families, but for the people who live around us, the people who come and work in our households, for people in the shops we go to buy groceries and other items. So healthcare is important for everyone. And hopefully this realization would have sunk in and would not go away just because the pandemic disappears. It requires a lot of change. It requires a lot of change at the level of individual, at the level of the system, at the level of policy making. And since you mentioned the term third wave, look, any wave is not automatic. COVID is around and COVID will remain, but how we let COVID impact our society is to some extent at least in the hands of the communities. And when I say the communities, I don't mean just the individuals, but in the way our society works, in our healthcare system, also our communities. Of course, we need to come together as a community. A lot of responses can be developed at the level of the community to de-stress the existing healthcare system also. So we talk about healthcare system. So this is not just a healthcare problem. This is a social problem. So we shouldn't medicalize this as if the response has to be from medical community or everything that needs to be done is medical in nature. There is a lot that needs to happen at the level of the society, at the level of the value we put on health. As the WHO defines, health is not a physical state of physical well-being, but also mental and social well-being. So we must recognize the broader definition of health.
Lastly, doctor, we were told by the experts that younger people are less likely to die due to coronavirus. But what we are witnessing now is the exact opposite. What are the reasons?
So it's not the exact opposite. Still, if you look at all the deaths, you would see that a large proportion is actually amongst the elderly. One of the things that happened is many of the elderly got vaccinated. So they didn't develop severe disease and were protected, which is great. And the younger people were not vaccinated in as large numbers because of a number of reasons. Because of course the vaccination was not open to them, first of all. Second, there was a fair amount of vaccine hesitancy in those people as well, thinking that they are not likely to develop severe disease, exactly the point that you made. So people just took that to heart and sort of decided that they didn't need to be vaccinated. And the third was finally just the social conversation that was going around at that time, that COVID was gone and we didn't need to really worry about it too much. So there was a number of reasons. And what happened then is just the sheer magnitude of the number of cases, which meant that even though the proportion of young people getting involved and maybe suffering from poor outcomes didn't change by very much, just because so many people got involved that the numbers swelled a lot.
The number of deaths or infection cases may or may not fall quickly, but we must do what is in our hands, which is to follow COVID appropriate behavior at all times. Masking up is still one of the most important weapons against the deadly pandemic, and we must religiously follow it. Thank you very much for joining me. If at all you've liked the information that I've shared, do not forget to subscribe to TV9 Digital across all social media platforms. Stay safe, keep those masks on.